What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? Where are you? I don't think I'm running. Oh, did you get those things off? Let's go put them back on again. Come on. How'd you get them off? Where are they? Hello? Hello?
Why is she on this?
So I'm gonna let Mary Ann jump off.
This isn't her, there's nothing for her on this meeting, is there?
One thing. Oh, I can't do anything. No, Mary Ann jumped in because we had to scramble. The school committee already used Grace's. I did Concom and handed off to Carrie, and Mary Ann jumped in here, and now she can hand off to me, and everybody is helpful and cooperative.
Very good.
So Mary Ann's on the phone, right?
Right. So you could probably, she's muted, you could probably take her off video. I don't know, 'cause she might not want to be seen making dinner.
Oh, she doesn't care. Steve does it all the time.
Yeah,
Hey,
right.
Mary Ann, you're free. You can get free if you want. Hi.
I wanted to turn off the teapot first.
Oh,
So, so I'll make you the host, Becky. All right, I'll be right back.
okay. I love your new cabinets.
Thank you. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Becky. Hi, Susie.
Oh, yeah. Okay. This will be short and sweet.
I hope so. I got the holiday spirit.
I think it's catching all over the place. Thank you so much for doing this, Mary Ann.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a pretty regular thing. All right, so you're the host, Becky?
Yep.
And let's see.
Now you're free to disappear.
I think I can just leave. All
Yep.
right, have a good meeting.
Thank you so
Merry
much.
Christmas. And all that stuff.
Yes. Very good. Trying to get. Hi, April.
Hello, how you doing? Oh, no, I'm not muted. Hi,
Hi.
I should be muted. Oh, it's cold.
Yeah. Darkest day of the year today, so it's gonna be brightening up.
Oh, right. Spring is coming.
That's it. We got liquor, we got winter licked.
Yeah.
And my mom is 98 years old today.
Oh, that's great. Tell them I said happy
Oh.
birthday, Becky.
I
That's
will.
it.
And she's doing
Congratulations.
very, very well.
That's fantastic.
She just got back from, Russ took her up to see the ocean up in Maine.
Oh,
And
great.
yeah.
Well, that's great.
Oh, that is really awesome.
98 is getting up there, let's face it.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Imagine us all at 98.
Well,
God.
maybe you and maybe April, but not me.
I
Maybe
saw an article in the New York Times, most people over 100 don't want to be alive.
yeah.
It's pretty horrible. They say it's not a good life.
How about people in their 70s?
Yeah, well, we're working on it, right? But
That's right.
Becky, your mom she still lives at home, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's nice. That
Yeah.
makes a big difference.
Yeah, she's doing great. I mean, having being able to get around, but it's still, you start moving a little slower and a little slower.
That's
No,
70? Yeah.
Jim Aaron's dad was
Yes.
103.
Who
Jim
was?
Aaron's dad was 103,
Really?
Oh,
and he said around his 100th birthday, he said, "Oh, to be 90 again."
Well, I'm starting to do some work back at ServiceNet, and a client was referred to me. She doesn't want anybody older than somebody. She wants to work with somebody in their 30s, and I said, well, I was 40 years ago. I'm not going to remind you of your mother. Think grandmother.
Hey, we've got a quorum.
We sure do.
Must be an
Yeah.
important topic.
All right.
We've got
That's-
everybody.
Let's quorum.
Everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
AJ, should I get the document or you got it already?
I can pull it up. Let's see.
It made me lazy because they usually beat me.
All right. So
Where's
I have it. Can you make me co-host that? And
Oh, yeah.
I'll pull it up.
Sorry.
No problem.
So we're convening at 6:01.
Yes. And thanks everybody for being available on short notice.
Greatly
this will be great.
appreciated by the select board as well.
We're your team.
Okay, and I think we talked about, right, Becky, the only thing for us to discuss is the new warrant, right? Because article, because all of the other ones we've already discussed and voted on whether to recommend or not, correct?
Yep.
Correct. Yep.
All right, now, let me fix my Zoom here. All right. So this would be Article 7, right?
Yes.
Way down.
And the Concom bylaw, just so you're aware, in this version is not final. Concom is meeting right now to approve a final version that will go into this document ahead of select board meeting on the 26th.
And you'll send us all the final.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
all right, so Becky, do you want to give us the background? I kind of remember this issue of this back.
Yes,
prior to
the Board of Health had this relationship that started during COVID with a mosquito control board. But they failed to send, I think it was 2 years running, they did not bill us appropriately. And then I guess their program had been going on through a transition. And when we first started looking at it, the question was whether they had done the work or not, if the Board of Health had received the reports that they require of them. And it turned out, yes, the reports had been made available, and but due to the circumstance as a whole, they agreed to reduce the outstanding balance from a prior year to $2,500 from $5,000.
Okay, and this would, if approved and we the town gives permission to pay this bill, that then we would be current.
Yes,
That's the balance that's owed, okay.
yes. It
All right.
is currently in the budget, and I believe it's, I bet, we better double check, make sure it's in next year's budget.
$5,000.
Yeah. Right, because that was part of the issue, right, is that it was appropriated that first year. And
By
then,
free cash, yeah.
right, and then we
Wasn't in the
never,
budget.
they never had us, they never included it as a fixed item in our budget, okay. So I see a bunch of hands, let me start with Susie, then Jim Hemingway, and then Bob.
So does this article have to state the source of the money?
Oh, that's a good idea.
I probably should.
From free
Thank you,
cash?
Susie. What would you guys like the source to be?
Yeah, free cash.
This
Free
seems like a
cash.
free cash one, yeah.
Yeah,
That sounds unanimous?
Okay.
Okay. I will make that correction.
Jim?
Yes, it's too bad there's no one from the Board of Health here to tell us whether this was actually worth it. I mean, these folks, from what I understand, didn't do it the first couple of years. They didn't report. We don't know whether they actually ever came to Shutesbury and did anything valuable. I just question whether this is a worthy investment for an organization that doesn't seem to have it together. I know
I
you're
don't
going to
think
disagree.
I don't think that's accurate, though, that the service wasn't provided, but Becky, do you have information? My memory is that they were doing monitoring.
Yes, they had been doing the monitoring. The reports had come in later in the year. They now, starting, I think last year or the year before, they got a new director who's been hands-on, but the work had been getting done in Shutesbury. And yes, the Board of Health has, in their review of the work as it is ongoing, have found it very valuable. Because they monitor the mosquito efforts and, the EEE and the different variations, but their last report from Catherine was that they do find it valuable.
So the Board of Health is happy with whatever work they were doing that is going to be paid for by this 25,000. Excuse me, 2,500.
Yes.
I wonder where in Shutesbury they were actually monitoring. But anyway, the Board of Health isn't here to explain. So,
Bob?
Yeah, a couple points. One is, I noticed it says 9/10 majority vote, which is interesting if that's accurate. but I think I just want to remind the finance committee that the reason part of our funding the first year from free cash was because we wanted to give it a try and then discuss in the following years whether or not we wanted to incorporate it as a recurring expense in our budget. And I personally, well, when we get to look at the budget this year, I'll be very interested to quiz the Board of Health about what it is we get from this money, because I'm not sure that it's worth us continuing to fund this every year. But this issue, Article 7, doesn't directly deal with that. I'll take the word of Becky and Catherine that we owe this money and leave it up to the voters' town meeting to decide whether to pass the article. But again, let's just remember when we set it up from free cash, it was so that we could examine and discuss whether we should incorporate this as a recurring expense in our budget.
Jim Walton?
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm clear on the primary. First, we as a town did agree to take on this service, right, for this amount of money. I just want to make sure we made a commitment to take this on. And I think I hear that is yes, that is the case. And for whatever reason, we were not invoiced for these prior years. I think, is that my understanding correct?
Mhm.
And there's a third thing, for whatever reason, in our budget process, we just didn't include this in our budget process over the last couple of years. So do I have that right
because we
too?
had not been reminded by the Board of Health, and I think because Catherine assumed it was just flowing in the budget on the next years. So it was a little bit lack of communication and assumption, but it was in the midst of COVID and with people, back in offices and this agency's communication getting reestablished. They worked backwards to figure out what materials they had and how it was being used. And
Okay, so ultimately we did agree and accept them taking on the work. They did the work. It was done in prior years. And I think, Bob, to your question or point about the 9/10, I think on prior years' bills, don't they require a 9/10?
yes, they do.
Majority, because this is not unusual. I think this is the way we always do
Yeah,
prior
it's-
year.
It's
prior
required
year
by
bills.
statute.
And
if-
that, and
and
that's
if we
when the
forget that
prior
down,
years
then we'll
books have been closed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Becky, is your hands up?
Oh, sorry.
No, okay, Jim Hemingway?
Yeah, wasn't there a problem with the fact that they simply didn't even do the work
No.
for the first year or two?
No,
Eventually they did something, but there was some, non-performance, so to speak, in there is mixed into this as well. That's what concerns me. In other words, there was no report, there was nothing, and yet we had this $5,000 bill. I'm just trying to clarify whether there was a sort of a delay in their getting involved with mosquito observations in Shutesbury.
So my understanding, Jim, is that the services were performed throughout the time period. What sort of fell through the cracks was that we weren't accessing, or the town wasn't accessing, the reports during the kind of COVID period, but that the services, the actual monitoring services and the reports were being written. And it sounds like since that point that it's been clarified that and the reports they have access to now. I'm going to just show briefly that there is for folks I think who might want more information, there's a website that the Mosquito Control District maintains, and it includes these surveillance updates, which Jim may have some of the information you were asking about. I'm not sure earlier about kind of what communities are being monitored, and what kind of data being collected, but
No.
but if you wanted to kind of dive in, there's also like, years of the sort of monthly meeting minutes. So it seems pretty clear that like, work was being done, and I think what fell through the cracks was the billing
Yeah.
and us being aware of how to access or by us, I mean the town's awareness of where to access the information and the reports. Does that sound accurate, Becky?
Yes, and I think what Jim is remembering is our initial meeting with Catherine. And
Right.
because at first she did not have answers to those questions, and she went back and she and I both met with the administrator of the program. We went back through the history, the reports, how, were identified. The fact that the bills didn't come was the issue that led to things unraveling. So at this point, I believe we have things in order, and they did make a compromise because of the late billing. So I think this settles the situation, and Catherine will be there at town meeting to present that for us.
Susie?
It's in our April 12th, 2023 minutes.
That was the meeting where we got an update on confirming that the services were provided? Okay.
Yep.
Bob?
Yeah, I just want to say, I recall that meeting that Becky's referring to with Catherine. And, it was clear that she didn't have any knowledge of any reports at that time. And also that there was a changing of the guard in this agency, so that the director had left and there was nobody visibly running it, at least as far as she knew, So this was all rather strange and kind of made it difficult to think that we were getting something for our money. But again, we'll just see what town meeting says about this when Catherine explains this to the town meeting.
Done.
All right.
Make the motion.
So I'll make a motion for the finance committee to recommend Article 7, approval of Article 7.
I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, George, can you start the voting?
Arvanitis, aye.
Groves, nay.
Hemingway. Yeah, I'll vote for it. Yeah.
That's a yes, Jim? Okay.
If what I hear is accurate, I just wish the Board of Health was here to, just straighten some of this out, but I guess that's not possible right now.
Okay, Cashew, aye.
Mosier, aye.
Fine, aye.
Walton, aye.
Okay, so motion passes 6-1.
Mhm. We're done.
Becky, do you have that?
Yep,
vote?
I have 6-1 free cash as a source. And I'll make those 2 corrections. I'll make the correction on the source, and I will put in finance committee recommends 6-1.
Great. Do you need anything else from us, Becky, as far as the special
That'll
town
do
meeting?
it. Yeah, that does it for tonight.
Okay,
All right.
yeah,
Really, really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
yeah,
Not a
sure.
problem. And happy
Uh,
birthday to your mom.
Yeah,
Happy birthday to your mom.
Thank
yeah, happy birthday.
All right.
It's amazing.
Anything else that folks needed to bring up, that can't wait till January, what is it, 9th, 8th, 7th? I can't remember. when the meeting is.
Well, that brings up a question. My only question was, did we update our meeting schedule for the rest of the fiscal year?
Yeah, so I'll actually, yeah, if you guys can hang on a second, I'll just pull it up.
Or send it to us if it's done.
Yeah, it's done. Actually, that's what I'll do. I'll send it to everybody, and I'll update it to the Google Drive as well. So I'll do
Nice.
that.
And that means I can talk to the school committee and make sure they have the right date, because I'm seeing them tonight in a little bit of time,
Great.
45 minutes. Okay, good.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Happy holidays, happy new year.
Second.
Second.
Arvada said aye.
Quick vote to adjourn.
So Arvanitis said
We having
aye.
a vote?
Yeah, so
Arvanitis said aye.
Arvada said aye.
Groves, aye.
Hemingway, aye.
Cashew, aye.
Closure, aye.
Fine, aye.
Walton, I.
Adjourned.
Have a great holiday, guys. See you.
Yep, take
Have a
care.
great
everybody.
You
holidays.
too.
Enjoy,
We'll see you
Happy
next year.
holidays.
Okay,
Yeah.
take care.
Thank you, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.